Hey guys, welcome back to Tales from the Dorm. I know we've been gone for a little while. We're officially back. As always, my name is Dennis.
I'm Khalil.
Yeah guys, so I know it's been like a couple months since we did an episode, forgive us. Today's episode is going to be about change because since the last episode that we recorded, a lot's been going on. A lot has happened. First, before we get into that, I'm going to start off with how we always start off with a little bit of tweets, a little bit of confessions. This time is going to be straight from Montclair Confessions, just so we can have a little bit. Alright? Let's see. First one. Bro, just let me love you. Spanish class boy, you know who you are.
This is Montclair Confessions.
Yes, it is.
I think we saw it.
People are so bold when it comes to Montclair Confessions sometimes. Let's see. Why are all the
What is it?
Why are all the gays here all bottoms?
Oh.
Wow. Okay. How bad is it that I told the guy I like off, but I still want to hit up with him? What?
She still wants to hit up the guy that she...
Oh, and she told off?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tricky.
That's pretty bad.
But that's happened. Where like you told someone
That's
off.
happened?
That's happened to me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it has.
Okay, so let me sure. Because I have told someone off, or I've been like, nah, like we shouldn't, and then it's like, we're still texting. Relax. No, because you know who I'm talking about. But it's just hard. Alright, cool. Yo, this one, were the white/Latina girls trying to get their toes sucked for real?
First of all, that's dumb disrespectful. Because why are you not talking about the black?
Yeah, I was going to say
all the beautiful black women.
I knew you were going to say that. Because as soon as I said white/Latinas, I knew you were going to have some problem with that.
That's so disrespectful.
Oh, God. Alright. Is it like normal or okay that I'm having feelings for multiple people at once? Not poly or anything like that, but like wanting to date multiple people at once, but not at the same time. So cheating. That's what it is. Wow.
Ridiculous.
I don't know if she'll see this, but if you do, please don't ghost people. Any answer, yes or no, works. I just want to know, man.
Please don't ghost people?
Yeah, I felt that.
Like, what do you mean?
I
completely valid.
This is a lot from the previous episode, but I never had the chance to ghost anyone. Like in terms of like, it was always like as a guy, I always had to chase. And I remember I was talking to like one of my guy friends where he was like, I think I told you this before, but like I don't have like experience with like getting chased by like someone. So it's just weird for me, like the term of ghosting. It has happened to me, and it's bad. Like it doesn't feel good to get ghosted.
I wouldn't assume it would.
You never got ghosted?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, no, not really.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. To those assholes that hog a workout machine with their
Hey.
so they can do something else at the rec. I hope your pillow is extra hot, you absolute inconsiderate. And then it's just a curse word.
Those people are wild.
No.
I see it all the time.
When I hate it so much that I'm like, hey, are you using this? And it's a bench press, and his like sweater, like people's sweater would be like around there. He's like, yeah, I'm using it, and like I'm waiting for like the machine to open up, and for like 10 minutes, this dude is like doing like the fly deck and not moving at all, just talking to his friends. I hate that so much because the gym's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. No, I don't like that. And we're gonna move to tweets real quick, like 4 tweets, and then we're gonna go into it. But all right. Everything is 10 times funnier when you're supposed to be quiet. And that is so true.
You know what's wild about that? When I was in high school, this was an experiment. It was so random. It was an experiment. Me and my friends at the time, we were like, we're not gonna speak the entire day.
No, I would never.
We didn't speak. It was getting people pissed that we weren't speaking, but we would like use our phones and then text and like be.
I would be so pissed off.
But it was like everything was 100% funny
because you would have to be quiet.
Bro, there's this one situation. It was just funny, bro. We went to Zoomies. We were at the mall. We weren't speaking. We went to Zoomies, and you know how like Zoomies employees are, bro. They're immediately as soon as you walk in the freaking store, like, hey, how can I help you? Hey, you need this, you need that.
If you can't speak, there would be pissed.
And so I wasn't speaking. We weren't speaking. We were committed. We were not speaking, and then we went in there, and I was just looking at like Vans or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, you like those? Yeah, like what size?" And I was just like, "Oh." So I'm assuming he thought that I was like
mute,
yeah. And I was like, he was like 2.
No!
I was like, 11, yeah. So he went to the back and got the size, tried on his shoes, and then I brought it back to him, and I was just like,
I could never.
And he was like,
to play charades with you? No,
bro.
They don't pay me enough at Zoomies.
I mean, he probably felt bad, but shout out to that.
I would feel bad too, but it's just, it's like I work at a pharmacy, right? It's like if people come up, I think it would be different. Like if I would assume you're mute, I would feel bad. But like, there's people that do like these like really silly questions, like obvious questions when you're working. Where it's like, I would go to the pharmacy. I'm working at a pharmacy, right? I'm like on the floor. I'm like cleaning shelves and everything. And someone comes in. Mind you, I'm in with the shirt, the uniform shirt. I'm like, excuse me, do you work here? And like, there'll be moments where I'll be so tired and be like ready to go home. I'll be like, no, I just like the shirt. And they're just staring at me, blinking. My name tag is right here. They look me up and down, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and just walk off. And I'm like, "No, I'm just kidding."
You actually did that?
I did that.
You're wrong.
I did that. No, because sometimes it gets me so like I speak Spanish, right? And they would be like, "Do you speak Spanish?" And I'm like, "No."
I mean, how is anyone supposed to know you really speak Spanish?
It's just so funny because I would be like, "No." And then I would be like, my coworker here does, and I would send it. And every time she looks at me, she just shakes her head and starts laughing. But we're just like we can't laugh, so we have to stay quiet. It's the funniest thing ever.
That's wild.
All right, let me see. Seeing a spider isn't a problem. It becomes a problem when the spider's gone.
Nah, that's fact.
Yeah, still.
You know that gum's going in your mouth.
No. What?
Or you never heard when people they said that like when you eat like mad spiders like.
No, I never.
You never heard about that?
No.
Like while you're sleeping, they'll crawl into your mouth.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
I remember like.
It might be a myth though.
Maybe I'm sure it's a myth. But I remember like I was seeing I was home alone and I was like chilling in my bed and this is what happens to look up and I see something move. Like it was just like a little like you know like a little black dot just move. I didn't know what it was. And for the rest of the night I had like a shoe near my bed just in case it appeared again because it just like you just saw it like crawl like this. I don't know. Up to this day I don't know what it was. It could have laid eggs in my room and for all I know I just don't know what it is. Nah.
I don't do spiders.
No.
I can kill a spider.
I'd be scared.
You're scared to kill a spider? You wouldn't be the guy to kill your spider for your wife?
No. Of course I would. But I'm saying like
scared.
No. I'm saying like I'd be scared because every time I think of spider, I just think of like the big spiders, like the tarantulas or like the wolf spider.
They don't pull up over here.
No, of course they don't. But like the thing is like for example, there was one thing that I read. It was in one of the states up from us. Don't know. But they do cranberry juice, right?
Oh, Maine?
Yeah, I think it is Maine.
Yeah.
They would grab all the cranberries and like pile them up in like on the field. You have to stomp on them, but sometimes it floods.
Mm-hmm.
So because the cranberries will like float, the wolf spider, which can swim.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the fact that a spider can swim terrified me. But it was even worse because they would be stomping on the thing and they would try and collect all the cranberries. And the wolf spiders would latch on. And if you don't know about wolf spiders, it's that they would bite. The harder you try to get them off, the harder they'll bite. So they don't get off. So in the application for the job, they're paid a lot of money.
Yeah, because you're dealing with wolf spiders.
Yeah, right? They're paid a lot of money, but they're like, hey, you're gonna get bit. Blood is gonna be drawn. Are you okay with that? That's no. That's when I was just like, yeah, spiders are no joke. Men tend to spend more money when they are not in a relationship. I don't know about that.
not true.
I'm in the middle of that because, okay, so like one of the things that changed, I got out of a relationship, and while I was in a relationship, we were going on dates, we would go like buy gifts, all these things. But then once I got out of a relationship, I started hanging out with you more, hanging out with my friends more. I went out more as a single person, so I that's what I think this means.
But I feel like their point maybe, I mean, I don't know, this is what I'm assuming their point is that because they're in a relationship, like maybe the girl could like help financially, like
that's true. That's
help
true.
them.
Yeah, because it was always 50-50 in my relationship.
That's not true.
Oh yeah.
Like, but I don't know. I just feel like it's I guess societally, depending on people's specific perspectives on relationships and like being the provider and whatnot, that's what makes the difference. But the majority of the time, the guy's paying for things, bro. Like you're going on a date to girls being treated.
It's the expectation. It's the expectation for like the guys are supposed to.
Exactly, and so it's like because of that, like how, bro, I spent so much money when I was in a relationship.
When you were telling me the stories, I couldn't believe some of them.
I mean, I don't really regret it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't, because I mean, obviously, when you're in love, you're in love.
Oh yeah, of course.
You don't feel like you're wasting any money, and I don't feel like I wasted any money because I went to someone at the time I believe deserved it. So
I don't know, man. I don't know
so,
about that.
But again, at the end of the day, like I don't. With that being said, I don't believe that that's the case. I don't believe that men spend more money. Bro, I'm looking at my brother. My brother with his girl.
That's true.
And bro,
he has the bread to spend.
Yeah, he has the bread to spend. But think about it, if he had the bread to spend and he wasn't spending it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm sure he would spend it on whatever nonsense he would spend it on anyway. But like he's spending a lot of money, bro.
That's very true.
Like I don't know. That's just.
It is what it is.
I think it's based on your specific like standard of like because like you said, you do 50-50. A lot of guys do 50-50 with their girls.
But it's also like the next girl I might be with might not believe in that. I would be like, that's fine.
You're just gonna accommodate to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like you have to like in terms of like when you begin a relationship, you are trying to impress this person, and as you grow with this person and then you get used to each other, you kind of like switch in terms of what you guys feel and believe. So I feel like for me, it's flexible in terms of like, for example, remember when the person that I was speaking to, they're like, oh, you want food, you want a salad, and they just bought me a salad, and I was like, I don't know how to feel. Like that, I wasn't used to that because even when I went to visit my ex-partner for her lunch, I would buy my own food, she would buy her own food, or sometimes we'll buy together, or if she paid, I would sell her. So that was just interesting. So that's what I mean, like I would be accommodating to that, but I think it's just a mix.
I think I would be accommodating to if my partner wanted to do something for me, because why would I shun that away? But I think a majority of the time I'm going to be the person who provides. Not because I feel like I have to, but just
I like providing.
Not only I like providing, but that's just how I was raised, and I think that's
true.
I mean, regardless, I think the majority of girls like a guy providing regardless. I mean,
yeah.
So.
I believe that. All right, I'm gonna do two more. Water actually has a taste that is impossible to describe. You agree? He's gonna drink his own. You like when you say
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those guys who would like try water.
Try water?
like you know like the different kinds of water, the mineral water. And like
you would try to see like if you were. Remember last year you bought the box?
Like people will probably look at me and be like, yo, you probably waste money. Like I don't know what you're talking about. My last question to you. I don't waste money. I just feel like that's something that's an experience to be had, bro.
I remember when we went to buy for your party last semester. We bought the canned. You bought the canned water or like oxygenated water.
Oh.
It was
water in a bag.
In a bag. It was water in a bag.
Water.
And he's like, let's buy it. And I was just like, why? It's just water, and we tasted it.
And it was different.
It was different.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, bro. Like water's a delicacy.
You know what's crazy though? I I was seeing this show on Netflix. It's I don't know. It's Zac Efron was hosting it. And
He's hosting it?
yeah, it was like one of those like like you know how like celebrities sometimes they're like I'm more in touch with nature and they go and do like a whole
I did
bunch
not
of
know
things.
Zac Efron was hosting.
It's actually really good. It's actually really good. You guys should definitely watch it. I don't know the name. I'm probably gonna put it while I'm editing, but it was interesting because they were explaining how like water has like purifying and healing effects and all these things, and then they actually went to a water connoisseur, like wine connoisseurs. They went to a water connoisseur, and he was saying how the water that we drink, the purified water is the worst water for you because it has nothing in the water. So it's actually like it would like suck up all the vitamins and nutrients from your body because of the fact that it's just a waste. It's just like it has nothing at all. It's just clean, but we are led to believe that that is more preferable. But it is actually the metallic, earthy water that has the most minerals. It has all those things.
It's getting it from the rocks.
Exactly. And you know what's so interesting? When I went to Ecuador for the first time, I think I even said this in the podcast before. I don't remember. I did talk about this, but when I went to Ecuador the first time, I was really thirsty about water, and it was water that came straight from the mountains. They don't do anything to it. And they just pick it up from the mountain, like the lakes in the mountains, and that's it. And I tasted it, and that tasted like metal. It tasted like pennies in my mouth, and I didn't know like for example, have you ever tasted like blood, like in the coppery like taste of blood? That's how water. That's how it tasted. And I was like, this is disgusting. But the thing is, as I kept drinking it, because I stayed there for like a month, as I kept drinking it, I was like, wow. And I felt energized. It was like Gatorade, but it was just water. It was like natural, which was just crazy to me. It's crazy. And
I love water, bro.
Yeah.
I really, because you could taste the difference between like tap water and like bottled water.
Oh yeah, of course.
Mineral.
Even like plastic and like water that's like stuck in metal. It's different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like water is just adaptable to most things.
Yeah. All right, last one. you're gonna feel this one. Bad relationships can ruin a good song.
Wow.
No, it is
Why would
true.
you say that?
It is true. It is true. Because you know what happened? I was driving here, and I was listening to A Glimpse of Us. It just came up. And I just let it.
That's not a good song in general. In terms of
but
it being something that like you can relate to a relationship with.
Glimpse of Us?
Yeah, that's not. You know what that song is about?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like okay, but I'm saying it because I got sang like that. I got that song sang to me in a very romantic kind of way.
You got that song. That's not a romantic song.
I know it isn't. But I'm saying like I always related it to that memory.
Who's singing you "Glimpse of Us" by Joji?
Don't worry about it. But what happened was that I was listening to it driving on. Don't fucking judge. Don't do that.
That's so weird though.
But
like, what?
No, it was actually cute. But I was driving coming here, and I was listening to it. I was like, fuck this song. I was just like, no, the song was ruined. I just skipped it because I couldn't. Even in sixth grade. In sixth grade, I had my first girlfriend. We listened to what's it called? Demons by Imagine Dragons.
Yo, get the freak out of here.
When I tell you, we held hands and we sang that song in the middle of class, bro. I'm not gonna like say your name right here, cause like.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Not.
So, but like it was just funny, cause like we would be in class, we would have a cute moment, and we would like hold hands, look at each other in the eye, and just sing that song like that. It was like that innocent, like crazy love that I had in sixth grade. And then after she moved, and we broke up. I couldn't hear that song. It was like that was ruined. And it wasn't until later on that I heard that song, and I was just like, damn, I still can't hear it. It's like that like back in sixth grade mind, bro. Nah. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. No.
I don't even know if I want to end.
I just feel the judgment coming through.
The judgment. I'm thinking about my circumstance. I don't know if I want to talk about it.
That's fair.
I think. Yeah, no comment. There's like one song I could say the song, but I'm not gonna talk about it. But it's I haven't heard it in so long that I'm pretty sure I forgot the name. It's like I remember the name. How it goes. I forgot it.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
It has like Daniel Caesar and Rex
Yeah.
Orange County and hella and Chance the Rapper. There's like hella people on that song.
It's an old song, boy.
It's like from 2018, 19.
Oh, really?
And I need to find it. I'm not gonna listen to it, but I need to find it so I can.
All right. While he's looking, that was it. That was a fun beginning of the episode. But once again, welcome back, guys. So episode 6. It's been such a long time. And so because it's been such a long time, I think it's been like almost.
Found it.
What was it? What's the name?
It's called Forever Always.
Oh God. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Anyway. Yeah. Let's just keep going. Because it's been so long since we recorded the anything for this podcast, this whole episode is going to be revolved around change. What does that mean? What does that entail? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it neutral? All of these things. Yeah.
So let's start. Dennis, it's been
wow.
It's been months. It's been what?
Since March.
May?
March.
April.
April.
Yeah, because it was after.
Yeah, it was April.
After. Okay.
Right.
Dennis, what's changed for you from May of 2023 to August of 2023?
Alright, so I got a new job. I started working at a pharmacy. I was good there. In June, I was still in a relationship, and I chose to go visit my grandmother, who was ill at the time. And while there, this is what happened. First of all, before I even backtrack on that, my dog had puppies. My dog had 8 puppies. Yeah, from like April all the way up to August. So that whole time period, I was taking care of puppies. 8 huskies, like feeding them, giving them like all of everything, like making sure that they got good families and stuff. I gave one to our teacher.
I forgot about that.
It was a lot. Yeah, we did a lot. But yeah, it was fun. It was like a really good experience because I was able to see like my dog like basically become a mother and be protective. And we started being protective of the dogs because we felt really like a kinship with them. So what we did is that we kept the females. So now we have my family dog who's the mother. My brother got one of the females, and now I have a personal dog that when I move out, she's gonna come with me. So yeah, that's what happened. I went over to visit my grandma for like it was literally 2 weeks in June. I was there. I got to see my mom come back to her country after like 15 years, and that was really impactful because she cried. She saw her siblings and her parents, and then in the midst of that, me and my partner broke up, and it was through text while I was in another continent. It was I'm not gonna get into it as much. It was just the fact that we were just fighting a lot more. And it got to the point where both of us kind of realized oh well, there's no point in still being in a relationship where we always fight and we're gonna resent each other. But it was completely her choice in terms of she initiated it. I agreed. So I got dumped essentially. I came back, and for that whole period between June and July, I think because I remember even while I was there, I texted him and our other friend Donovan, and I was like, hey, I need to hang out with you guys, and I was explaining to them I was kind of sad, but we were just there together. And then nothing happened in July. I started my own YouTube channel. So besides this one, I have my own reaction channel that I've been growing steadily since. But then in August, unfortunately, my grandmother did pass away, and it was really hard for me because at that point, I really did stop all contact with my ex. So we stopped talking fully. And so when my grandma passed, I was going through a bunch of legal stuff with my dad as well. So I couldn't leave the country with my dad. So only my mom, and my 2 brothers, my siblings, went to see her funeral. And that was something that really affected me as well because I promised myself the last time one of my grandparents died that I wasn't going to miss a funeral, and I did. And it was during then that I did talk to my ex, and I thought we were gonna reconnect, But immediately the energy and the message that I got was, oh, I'm just checking on you because I feel like I have to, which is wild. But then I found out that she was already talking to someone else, and that's when like everything kind of got put into perspective. And I was just like, alright, I'm done. And yeah, that was literally April to August.
A lot.
That was a lot.
Mine wasn't that eventful. April. Did we finish Elephants in April?
Yeah.
So we finished Elephants in April. I was living in a completely different building.
Yeah.
I was like across campus in this place called Sinatra Home. And then literally during that show, that run that we were in, doing the show Elephants Graveyard, I think we talked about it in the first episode, I got an email saying that they were moving.
Oh yeah.
And I was like pissed at the time. Well, I wasn't pissed, but I was just disappointed because I was like, oh, like I had built up like people that I knew over there and like a community. Like I was getting used to the building, and I was like next to like my friends. Because my friends were living in the apartment building was literally next door to my building. So I just felt like really weird, and I was never like on campus here in Montclair, like because those buildings where Sinatra was, it was off campus, and I was never on campus, and I didn't really care to be on campus. And because like I felt like all I really needed was to go to class and then hang out with my friends at their apartment and whatever. But yeah, we'll get to that when we start talking from September to. But I just know that I was pissed. May came around. What did we do? We did a lot of like.
I don't remember May, to be honest.
We were like doing like Suzuki and stuff.
No, that's why I don't remember.
Yeah, no, it was just like a lot of. I learned a lot from last year. I'm not gonna lie in terms of just like acting stuff. And then June came around. I felt kind of on my own, honestly. We actually the end of May, my brother had gotten into his doctor program, so he graduated. With his doctorate, which is crazy. Dog's a whole doctor. We got a Dr. Luigi in the family. So he graduated and he moved to University of Kentucky in Kentucky, and we moved him out there. And that's what we did in May, and it was a little sad because it's my bro. Like, he's a huge influence on who I am. And so like to have him so far away was just like it was a bittersweet thing because he was doing his thing, but like I obviously gonna miss him. And he was already in New York, and I wouldn't want to say I took him for granted being in New York because I definitely did it, and I would always drive down and see him in Brooklyn. But now it's just kind of like it's a lot harder to go ahead and see him because bro's all the way out in Kentucky. So that happened, and in June, I was kind of just like. In a way, I was forcing myself to be okay with being alone. Like, I felt like I had always needed to be dependent on people, like friends and even my siblings and my family. Like, I felt like I needed them. I needed something or someone. And that summer, like June, July, August, I was kind of cooped up in my room. But it wasn't like I was like wasting away or anything. Like I was like learning a lot of stuff about film because I have a production company, and I was just learning a lot about film and educating myself. And I was watching a lot of TV and movies, not for the sake of entertainment. It's really weird when you're an actor. You have like two different brains. It almost is like. You just have an entertainment brain just when you want to enjoy a show or a movie, and then you just have like a complete like dissecting of everything like brain where you're dissecting the camera shots, and you're dissecting how an actor is playing the role, and you're dissecting the stage comment that might be in a movie. Like you're literally dissecting everything. You're dissecting how they wrote it, like, or if the freaking joke that they wrote was just trash, or if it was clever. Like you're dissecting everything.
And it's on instinct sometimes.
It's
you don't even plan it.
Sometimes you can't even turn it off. It sucks. But I was learning a lot from just like just being at home and like being okay with my own presence. And I had help because I had my dog at the time, Blue. I fell in love with this dog, Blue.
she just made me feel so supported. And it's crazy, bro. It's so crazy that a little creature that can't even talk makes me feel so supportive and loved, and just like you don't need anybody else. Like Blue literally just, she had her little bed in my room, and she, when it was time for bedtime, she would just go to her bed. I would walk her, and she would just do her little circles and then go to sleep. Sometimes she would try to get on the bed and sleep in the bed with me. I was like, "Nah, Blue, you got a lot of fur." And so I mean, I love that experience of being able to take care of a dog, and it really put into perspective how much animals just are incredible. Like they're just incredible and healing. I felt so healed from just having Blue around and being able to walk her every day within the summer. Like a majority of my summer was spent just hanging out with Blue because my family was busy, friends were busy. It was just like people were going through things, and I had to be okay with being by myself, and Blue really helped me with that. And it was sad because Blue had to go with Paul in August because Paul's dog. So Blue went out to Kentucky with Paul, and she's with Paul, and I still get a little choked up and sad about it. But I mean, she's doing great. Paul's doing great. Paul needed somebody. I think that's how I remind myself that it's okay that she's.
Yeah, because she is helping him.
She's helping Paul. Yeah, Paul's going through it. Paul's a whole doctor. If anyone needs Blue, it's Paul. You know what I mean? So that happened in August. Backpedaling in July. I had my birthday. I turned 21. That was crazy. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. That was crazy. It was fun. And yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of the rest of July kind of just again being okay with myself. And I'm bugging. I went to freaking Montreal.
Oh yeah,
I completely forgot about that. I went to Montreal with my brother and a few friends.
Not me.
Yeah, not him. Bro, you couldn't even go anyway.
Okay, relax. Let's relax.
We went to Montreal, and we went to Montreal on the week that it happened to be the Drake concert. And we went to see Drake, obviously, because why wouldn't we go to Canada? Why would we go to Canada and not see Drake? So we drove up to Montreal, got a fire Airbnb, and just explored, the area. And it was so peaceful, yet it was lit at the same time. I don't even know how to explain it. It's such a beautiful area because there's so many young people there, and they get lit at night. Like the city literally never sleeps. When you hear people say, "Oh, the city never sleeps," like they literally will not sleep. It'll be 5 a.m. and they'll build people in line to go to a club.
That's crazy.
And it was ridiculous, but it was fun. Went to a few clubs, got lit. I was 21, so it was like, I mean, you didn't have to be 21 to do any of that in Montreal anyway, but it felt good to just, say that I could do all that. It felt fun just be on a vacation independently with, friends and not necessarily having family around, even though I love my family, I love going on vacations with them, but this is like the first time I didn't do that. So that was cool. Again, it was like learning, this past summer was like me learning the dynamic between, being okay with being alone and educating myself and what it is that I need to do when I'm in a position when I'm alone, and appreciating people's presence and friends and accepting that love.
That's fair.
That was pretty much what happened from April to August.
What's crazy? I want to go back to what you said about the dog, or Blue, because my dog Maya, again back to change. It's just crazy because when she still had her siblings, she was like the problem child. Right? She would bark a lot. It was just a lot. Let me just explain to you why. She was the last one to be born, right? And we didn't do x-rays on my dog, so we didn't know how many puppies she had. The doctor was like, it's her first pregnancy, so it should be 5 to 6. We're like, okay, cool, 5 to 6. We were playing 5 to 6. This is what also got me pissed off about ethnic parents. Because my parents were like, okay, well, she's just gonna have it on her own, it's just natural, whatever. and I was planning it. I was like, we need to buy like wooden planks. We need to make like this. We need to make like her like nest and yeah. And they made it out of cardboard, and I was like, cool. And then I was like, you need to put like a little tube so that way if she lays down, the puppies can like she doesn't suffocate the puppies. Nothing. It's like cool. And then I was like, hey, we need to buy all these things. They're like, we don't need them. So I was still with my ex at the time. I went and bought the things, right? So I bought like the little suction cup thing just in case like, they were born not breathing. All these things. I bought like big dog like puppy formula. I was prepared. I got yelled at because I bought so many things, right? Fast forward to when my dog was giving birth. She already gave birth to 7 puppies. We're like, okay, that's it. Like 2 hours passed and she was still like, we still felt like a little lump. And then all of a sudden she starts pushing. And an 8th puppy comes out, which is Maya. And this one, because she was like born later and she was the run, she was super small. She was born not breathing. And my mom was like, oh my God, what do I do? Because like my dog at the time, she was like crying and like trying to lick and clean like her like Maya. And like Maya just wouldn't respond. She wasn't crying, she wasn't even moving. And my mom was like crying, she's like, what do I do, what do I do? And in my head I'm like, where's the suction, like where's the cup, where's the suction cup thing? And I was running around the house, I grabbed the suction cup thing, and I gave it to my mom. My mom didn't know how to do it, so I grabbed it, I picked up Maya, and I put it in her mouth gently, and I squeezed out all the mucus that was inside of her lungs. And then she started breathing.
Wow.
So in my head, I was like, if I wouldn't have bought that.
Saved her life.
Exactly. And what happened was that as we were growing up, Maya was like really rambunctious, and she was really overprotective of all of her siblings. But we found an owner for her. We gave it to them, and then they brought her back 2 days later because of the fact that she was barking a lot. And in my head, I'm like, it's a puppy. Like, what do you expect? Like, you need to train them to not bark, all of these things, right? So it went to a point where we actually got scared that she wasn't going to get picked up because she was just too much. I didn't want her at the time. Like, I didn't. And again, when my partner at the time, when we were together, she was coming over my house all the time, and she would see the puppies, and she's like, oh my God, I love Maya. Like, if I would have a dog, I would have Maya. Like, she loved the dog. But I was in love with another dog, right? But he got chosen. So it was only the 2 ladies that got left, Maya and Bella. And my brother initially was like, oh, I'll get both of them, and that's it. And then he was like, no, I can only just get one. And I remember that I was pretty pissed because I was like, damn, like, I didn't want Maya. Like, no.
So messed up.
it was messed up, but like in my head I was just like, I just didn't want her. I wanted like another dog that was like a big like bear of a dog. And once me and my partner broke up, I was super sad. And Maya, her whole dynamic changed. She stopped barking. She stopped like growling. She stopped like chewing on things. She became more docile. And it was almost the fact where she felt like my sadness, because it was to the point where like I picked her up like a baby, and she would start licking my face, and I would like sit down on the sofa or lay down on the sofa, and she would just like cuddle next to me, and she'll fall asleep there. And so me being heartbroken and going and like leaving this person that I was with for 4 years, and then this dog that I didn't even want in the first place comes and like just is like this compassionate, loving being, just cuddles up to me, and I was like, oh, this is my dog, because I started walking her. Because I went to a point where like that got so big that we had to walk them separately. So I walked her, and she was always like super like excited and like happy. And I would pick her up. Like if she got scared, I would pick her up, and she would calm down in my arms, and she would lick me, like lick my face. And it was to a point where like I was just kind of like, and now I'm in love with the dog. Like every time now I think of like when I move out, that's the dog that's coming with me. She's used to being on my bed. And it's to the point where like even like once my acting career starts and I'm like moving all over the world to do these kinds of things, I got a little stipend on my contract to be like, okay, but you also have to make room for my dog. So, and like that's it. So it's just amazing how like my feelings can change overall for like this. Like feelings in general can change overall.
Dogs are healing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling Blue, like the reason why I'm like, it's that exact reason why I was so in love with Blue, and I think it's a part of me is that the aspect of like, you know, being the youngest child and like having different perspectives than my siblings, and you know, realizing that people had that perception of Blue, that Blue was just this like too energetic, you know, and like that was like me. Like I felt I could understand Blue
because people misunderstood her. The same way I feel like a lot of people can misunderstand me sometimes. And it was like, because of that, there was an immediate connection with me and Blue. And I never had any like negative feelings towards her. I thought she was always so beautiful. And she could have been annoying, but I thought she was always so beautiful. Her big blue eyes. She's a husky beagle mix. Like, that is gorgeous. And
purebred huskies are better.
anyways, and so it's like she never barked. She had like a really traumatic like past because she was rescued. Paul rescued her. But she was just always so like loving. Like she was just all, and that's all I need. Like that's really all I need. And similar to your story, like this past summer was like really difficult for me to like get through that transition of like being okay with being alone. And I mean, I wasn't really necessarily alone because I had Blue, like, and Blue, like, in certain circumstances where I would really be in my head, because again, I was alone. That's the sucky part of this whole transition that I was going through. That like,
I
had to get used to just not overthinking things in my own head and making things worse for me and ruining my own mental health because I'm overthinking things and making things worse in my head, right? And when that stuff did happen, like. It was like you just would never expect a dog to do that, like to sense your sadness, and
like
I would
do something about
it. Like I would be laying in bed. I'll never forget this. It was the day that Paul was supposed to come back. Like tomorrow, the next day would have been the day Paul was going to come back to get Blue, and Blue was sitting in my room for the last time, and I was sad. I was really really sad, like, and it was almost like she knew she was leaving. And I was like upset in my room, like watching TV, and I was like, I just didn't want to go to sleep, like. And she literally, like, you know, 2 paws on the edge of my bed, like looking at me, like putting her nose underneath my arm to try to like, you know, console me. And she just hopped on the bed, like I was like, nah, Blue, no, like kicking on the bed. And she just hopped on the bed. I was like, okay, I don't care. I don't give a damn, like. And that night she literally slept on the bed with me, like on the edge of the bed, like, and that was the first time I ever let any animal sleep on my bed, like, and she slept on the edge of the bed, and then, you know, she woke me up that morning, mad excited, and we went on like our last walk. Like I have a hiking trail behind my house, and we went on like last walk, and like, I don't know, she was just like, again, she just could tell like that. Like I was gonna be out of her life for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's crazy that they're so perceptive like that. To be honest.
I don't know. I love her. And then we're gonna get to like September to now, or I'll talk more about Blue during that. So Dennis, what happened to you from September to now?
Okay. Let's see. September, we just got back. September, I got back and I decided to graduate early for real. So then I was gonna graduate in January. We started rehearsals for Anna in the Tropics, which was a play that we were in.
We didn't even talk about it.
That we auditioned.
Yeah, that's true. Very brief. We auditioned for a play for the school, and it was a play that was about Hispanics. And because seniors had a lot of priority, and because what the copy that we read had Spanish-speaking like words and phrases, I was like, well, in all seriousness, in all reality, I am the only, or I was the only student, male, Latino, who could speak Spanish, as far as I knew, and that looked, in what an ignorant person's view is, just as Hispanic. What happened was that it was to a point where like I started negotiating, because I was like, I felt some type of way about the fact that like the first role that I was gonna get was gonna be something based on my race. I didn't want that. So I was like contemplating between getting out of the audition process altogether or doing it, and it took a lot. I decided to do it. I didn't end up getting the lead, right? I got the villain role. So I did get a lead, but I got the antagonist.
We all were leads.
We all were leads, but like I meant like in that sense. It was just funny because I got called back for both shows. It was a Shakespeare show, I'm not gonna say the name, and it was for Anna. And obviously, in my head, I was like, well, the only show I should be considering is Anna. So I chose to go to work during the day of the callbacks for the Shakespeare show. I regret it. At the time, it was a point where like I already knew that like if the chances of me getting into this Latino show were exponentially more than getting into the Shakespeare show. And it was to the point where like I was just like, well, there's no reason for me to go to this Shakespeare callback in general. One, because I did not appreciate Shakespeare. I still don't really like it. And two, because I knew that it wasn't gonna work out. And I needed the money. So I chose to go to work. It's actually I'm not gonna say it, but someone else got in trouble for that same thing. And I was right next to them and I didn't get in trouble. I remember that. I was you were there.
Yeah,
I was flabbergasted. I did not know. And but that kind of proved to me in a way subconsciously that like even if I did go, it wouldn't have made a difference. I still wouldn't have been cast either way. Because of the reaction that I received from the faculty of not going. I wasn't reprimanded.
They realistically knew that. I mean, like, let's be so honest. They realistically knew that there's like what, maybe three Hispanic people in the program.
Exactly.
And there's what, 3 Hispanic male roles in that play.
Exactly. So that's what I knew. That like I was like, okay, so I was right in a way. So I wasn't really in it. I got accepted. Even the callbacks. There was like very few people went to the callbacks because so many people got called back that weren't Latino. Weren't Hispanic, they felt kind of iffy and off about that, and they just dropped out.
Not me.
No, it was crazy because he just went. And I was like, wow. That's so
I was like, well, because this is my perspective. I had a revelation. This is my perspective on this whole thing. I had also always been the kind of person who was like, I don't want to do that show, so I'm not gonna do it. But like that audition like cycle, I guess, I was like really, I guess having like an epiphany about like how I want to audition for things like going forward, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ham on my audition, like my monologue, and then if I get called back for both things, I'm gonna do both things regardless of like whatever, you know, I'm gonna make it work. And in this particular show, I didn't want to like disrespect anybody. I didn't want to disrespect you know, anybody in the program who might have been Hispanic, and you know, like I don't, but like at the same time, it's like I could kind of understand, you know, the play in a way. Like I'm not a Spanish speaker, but like I'm also like a Latino.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
I just said okay.
Yeah.
I just said okay.
I am a Latino. I am Haitian. Haiti is a Latin country. So, not saying that I have any right to like, you know, play Hispanic roles or anything, but it was like in my head, it was like there's not a lot of Hispanic people in the program regardless, and so it's like.
And even then, that are like outright saying that they are Hispanic.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So even then, it was just kind of a situation where it's like, I'll audition if they don't give it to me because I'm, you know, not Hispanic enough. Okay, like I'm not mad at that. Yeah. Like, why would I be mad at that? But if I get in it, because I love the show, I read the play and I loved it. It's a beautiful play. So I was like, why wouldn't I want to like at least try to audition for it? And I did. True. And I went for the callback. I thought I did pretty good for the callback. I went for the Shakespeare show that Dennis, for whatever reason, doesn't want to name. But I went for that. I was called back for the main lead for the Shakespeare show. Yeah. And I really tried hard for it because I was gonna try hard for either role regardless.
It wasn't your fault that you didn't get it.
I mean, I'm not mad. I think it all really worked out at the end. I ended up getting the role that I got called back for.
Initially for Anna.
Well, no. Well, we got to choose.
Yeah, so you chose.
Yeah, like I read the role that I wanted to play, and I ended up getting it.
Didn't get the role I wanted.
I'm sorry.
No, I like the role I got. I love the role I got, so it's good.
Your role was my favorite role.
It's good.
Still to this day, I think.
I tweaked.
Yeah.
I did.
So.
More than others, but it's okay. Get it.
I was gonna say, I think I know we're collectively talking about. Not me.
Yeah.
But it definitely was not me. Anyways, So September.
September. So we started rehearsals. It was great. I was really looking forward to the show. I needed something to distract myself. I was also doing 75 hard.
Yeah, we started 75.
We started our first attempt at 75 hard. So because me and him were in the show together, and we were kind of like, okay, well, you know, we're best friends and we're doing everything together now. We started going to the gym all the time. We started reading because that's what you do for 75 hard. We started doing all of these things. I was always here at his dorm. And then we went to rehearsals. And then I did we smoked cigars for the first time. We smoked cigars to have like the authentic.
It was literally the school
allowed it. Yeah.
They were like teaching us how to roll cigars, and then we ended up like the school allowed us to smoke the cigars.
This is a smoke-free campus, by the way. But yeah, that's what happened. I found that I really like smoking cigars, so I have become an avid cigar smoker. So to the point where like we even went to a cigar lounge together, and like that's something that we do as a hangout sometimes.
More you.
All right, relax. Yeah,
I'm not a cigar. I mean, yeah, I'm not a cigar.
I like it. I really enjoy like the camaraderie of like just the act of like smoking it, chilling with a friend, talking. I like it. So I definitely am gonna become the type of person who's gonna have like a little cigar, humidor in my bar, and be like, hey, like you want to smoke like a Cuban? Like that's what in Spanish we call it, like cigars. But yeah, that's crazy.
October.
I turned 21. I turned 21. That was crazy.
Yeah, he's young.
We went to Dave and Buster's, and I was a night. I thought I got angry at one point. I think you remember when.
November. What happened in November?
We did Anna in October, and it was great. It was in October, and we finished it, and it was amazing. It was single-handedly the best show that I did here in Montclair. I'm super proud of it, and it was something that I really am proud to get away with, right? November, it was just finishing up things, just finishing up like school. I was at a point where Capstone as well. It started off as a class that I really didn't really care about. Capstone is just like the end-all project for all the senior class as a way for us to work together for the last time. Before we go into our careers. So at first I didn't really care about it, but then I decided to make it into this thing that can honor my grandmother. And we did. We all collectively did such good work, and it was amazing to do it together. That was November, and then December was the same thing. December was kind of like this month of like, well, it's the last like month of the year. 2023 wasn't the best year. But I grew. It was also the month that was a birthday month of my previous partner. At that time in December, November and December, I was sort of in a weird thing with a person that I grew to care a lot for, and I still do. So I know she'll probably hear this podcast, so it doesn't matter. I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah, you're being very, very open right now.
I am.
Which is kind of wild.
I'm trying to be very open about things in general. But that's my New Year's resolution. But so like December was kind of like the month where like I was just like I full on faced a lot of the fears and pain and hurts that I felt throughout the entire year, and like disappointment that I felt, and like fully experienced it. Like that last week of December, fully experienced all of it to finally let go of things. So it was great. It was a great thing to do. I was super like happy to do it, and I went into the new year fully dedicating myself to doing my YouTube channel, restarting this podcast, going into my career, finding a job, all of these things. Like full on adulting, and even if I like have friendships that are being more distant than before, I'm getting closer to other people. I'm very happy with everyone in my life. So that was my January as well. I started off really doing 75 hard, but then it came to the point where like it wasn't even mentally, but I was I was torturing myself a lot more than helping myself in a way, in terms of like just physically. So I decided to like put a stop to it for a while. So as of right now, I'm not doing it. I'm still working out. I'm still working out every day. I'm still being active, trying to be mentally active and all of these things. But it's just a struggle to do it as an adult who doesn't have school. But that's what 2024 is all about. It's about learning. But yeah, that was it. But how about you, Khalil?
I mean, so the end of August, I moved in here. I am in the no shade in another building. I'm not gonna say. Let's just say I'm in the Heights. You know, it could be any place. I'm in the Heights. I'm in the Heights. So, here in Montclair, I'm an RA still. Love it. Love the job. It's fun. It could be a lot sometimes, but it's fun for the most part. I love the staff that I'm working with this year. I just never expected a group of individuals to just like find me the way I've been found. They're just so supportive, they're so loving, they're so sweet, and just like, I don't know, I just like they make me feel I don't know, like, I guess they reassure me, you know what I mean? Like, they reassure me of, like, that I'm not a negative person, or, like, the things that my mind tends to, make me feel like I am, and so it's good to have that, like, reassurance and, that extra set of love, when you're away from family. And then, I got that from friends here, too, don't get me wrong, but, it's good to have it in a place where you're like living at, you know what I mean? You can come home and you can see someone at the desk and, you instantly feel that love.
Connection.
And that connection, exactly. Where unfortunately I didn't get that when I was like over in Sinatra. I had some, friends over there, but it's not to the level of what it is here. And I'm gonna get to that because it's been 3-4 months and I already went on a trip with these people. And it was incredible. But September was dope. Started Anna, rehearsal process for Anna. I was already kind of getting in the headspace during the summer about it. We had a guest director. His name was Jose, and he was incredible. I felt like I learned a lot from him.
Shout out to Jose if he ever sees this.
Yeah. I don't know if he will. But
I'll send it to him.
It's been, it was 1 month, and I felt like I had learned so much about acting than I had I want to say within my entire junior year. And that's a really bold thing to say.
But it is
But
true.
it's kind of true. Jose was teaching us things that I just never thought about, and it's and it was really beneficial, and it showed with how we presented it in October.
And it was in a way that was not as a student. As a student, but he was kind of okay, just do it over and over and over again, and we kind of got tired of it. But it was so different from the other guest director that we had in our previous production. Don't.
And we used to say that it was I remember first episode of this podcast, we were talking about how drained and tired and annoyed we would have been. We were when we were gonna go to rehearsal, and I promise you, it was the complete opposite.
If we were recorded, we were recorded while doing the show.
We looked forward to rehearsal. It was well, let's go. I gotta go to rehearsal. Sorry.
I had many different reasons I was looking forward to rehearsal, but
yeah. So anyway, we just, I don't know. I only personally speak for myself. I had a blast, and I was blessed to be in a cast that was primarily seniors. And regardless of it being primarily seniors, I feel like I had been in a position that I didn't think I ever, was in before, being an upperclassman and helping, the younger actors that were in the cast.
Advice and stuff.
Yeah, just advising them and telling them not to be so hard on themselves, because it's really interesting when you grow as an actor. You could really see yourself in the younger ones. And it was beautiful to just work with them and to be backstage and then watch them do their thing and be like genuinely proud that they're killing it. So it was really cool. It was a really fun experience, and I love just those short, small casts. There's like I think there was like 8 people in the cast. Yeah, and it was. I love that. I'm not a super huge fan of like big ensemble shows, and I've been a part of like 2. And this was my first like intimate like 8 small cast show, and it was fun. And it was really, really fun. I learned so much because, I mean, on top of that, it was a beautiful show to like work with, and so yeah, that happened October. That also happened November was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was dope. I'm on a cap. Thanksgiving was dope because I went to Kentucky.
Oh yeah, you did.
And I was reunited with my blue boo, and with Paul, and we had Thanksgiving with not extended family, but like I guess essentially extended family. And so like people from Atlanta were coming out to Kentucky. Us from Jersey were coming out to Kentucky.
That's crazy.
And Paul was in Kentucky already, and we had rented out this beautiful Airbnb that was right near Paul. Or it was near Paul's like job. And so Paul would stay with us instead of like chilling in his apartment.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And I would go like down to Paul's apartment to see Blue and Walker and hang out with her. And it was, I'm telling you, it was crazy because she knew. She remembered, and she was excited, and I was excited, and she was jumping all over me. She was not leaving my side. That's how you know, bro. That's how you know, like, oh, the love. Like when you really have a relationship with an animal like that, bro, like, they're gonna stand by you. And that's like, I just never thought that was gonna happen, and it happened. Like, she was literally not leaving my side. Like, and Paul was there. Paul, her whole owner was there, and she wasn't leaving my side. Like, but yeah, it was great to just have that and just chill family. And I felt like I had like a rest for the first time, what felt like a long time, in terms of just like being happy, and in terms of just like just enjoying myself and not having to worry about like a show or like really anything crazy, because we had just finished Capstone by then.
Yeah, it was exhausting.
So it was like I was free. Like,
that's when how I knew. I was like, okay, officially my college has ended. Like,
That's
sad.
It
is sad. Well,
yeah,
you had like another semester, but for me, like, it was like the next day we went back to. I think we got back to class, right? Or we left.
Oh, Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a week.
No, but I meant like, so it was Capstone and then Thanksgiving break, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I remember when we came back, I was like, we don't got anything to do.
Our professor ended up making us do another assignment, but like,
but
it wasn't that deep.
Yeah, it wasn't that deep. Like, I had fun making that assignment, but it was kind of like, wow, I'm done. 4 years, 3 years, and a couple months.
3 years and a semester. Yep. But I mean, yeah, that November was great. It was very much needed. December hit, and it was dope. It was cool. It was also kind of like a fun situation. We had winter break. It felt really long this year. I'm not like, winter break felt dumb long, but I caught up with old friends, and I mean, it was dope. I caught up with old friends, and what else was I doing? Oh, the freaking trip! I went on a trip with my RA friends. We went to Vermont because one of my friends got an Airbnb out there, and like her dad owns it. And so it was just like hella people in this like big like cabin house situation, and like I don't know, it was so dope. We're just we're partying, and then we were we went snow tubing, and it was just one of those experiences where like I was hesitant in going because I was like, damn, I don't know these people like that well enough. But then it's like, these are the moments in life where you really just gotta like enjoy it instead of just being scared about it. And I kind of just went with it. And it was incredible. Like, I would love to do something like that again. And so that was fun. That was the end of December. Then we had New Year's. where New Year's was dope too. It was a really chill New Year's. I wasn't really partying, but like it was fun because I spent New Year's at church, like, and I felt really like I guess like rejuvenated, like to have done that in church, because I usually spend New Year's in church, and the last like 3 years or so I hadn't done that. So this year, like I spent it at church, and it was beautiful. Now we're in January, and I don't know. Beginning of January was kind of rough, Dennis knows why. I'm not gonna speak too much on it, but I mean, although it was rough, it was a big part of me like letting go, and embracing what's new, and being okay with who I am and where I'm going. And it was very necessary. Needed. Yeah, it was very necessary, very needed. Like, and I feel great about it. I thought I wouldn't have, but I feel really good about it. About making the decision to just let go fully, and not hold on to much of things from the past. Because I felt like it was really weighing me down, like character-wise and personality-wise, like, and emotionally, and wasn't able to really connect with a lot of people the way that I would have wanted to, because I was just holding on to things. And so, yeah, January, I'm like really looking up for January. Like things are looking up for me in January. Backpedal back to December because I forgot about it, but Dennis didn't have to do this because he graduated, but I had to audition for my last show. It was 2 shows. There's a show called Marie Antoinette, and there's another show called The Harvest. Marie was a big ensemble show with a director that I had already worked with that I love as a person. That's all I'm gonna say. And the other show was with the director I'd never worked with, but I know the person, and I was interested to see how I would have worked with her. And I got a call back for both, and I tried hard for both, and I got the role that I actually wanted, and I'm like the main lead in this next show in April, The Harvest. I ended up getting The Harvest, and so I mean, it's I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of nerve-wracking being the main lead in a show, and it's a small show too, just like Anna in the Tropics, which is exciting because like I said before, I love working with smaller casts, but it's nerve-wracking because I also have Showcase, which Showcase is something that I get to do to get an agent, and to like put myself out there and for casting directors and agents to see me, potentially get me jobs. So my Showcase is like March, April.
Oh yeah.
And my show, like the rehearsal process is in March, and my show is in April. So
it just doubles down.
There's like I'm like grinding crazy right now, memorizing like the stuff for the show, so I don't necessarily have to like have to put that work on myself when I'm in rehearsal process. I can just work on making choices when I'm in the rehearsal room rather than memorizing the lines. So it's like I'm trying to get all of that done, crammed from now until maybe the end of February, and also making sure that I have down pat my scene choice that I'm going to do for Showcase, as well as my monologue, which is a self-written monologue, which I pretty much already do have down, but just like making sure that it's up to standard and it's at its best, because I don't want to have to like worry about anything or regret anything.
Yeah.
And all that. But I'm excited for this year. I really am. I think Dennis said 2023 was a really difficult year for him, which I mean, like I saw that, and yeah, it was I could see how that was really bad for you. But 2022 was like my garbage year, like probably the worst year I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I think 2023 was definitely like a healing year for me. And I'm not saying that 2024 is going to be like this new person kind of year. I could be most certainly definitely be like another year of healing, which I'm open to that. But I just see a lot of opportunities and just good stuff coming my way, and I'm really happy and accepting of all of that. And just being okay with things, like, and taking risks and being spontaneous.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
I'm
been
glad
fun.
for that though. But yeah, I mean, we kind of went on like a really long tangent about, but it's because so much has happened and changed since the last time you guys heard from us. Yeah, but this is kind of like again, like Khalil said, like it's whatever happens in this year. But because we have so much more free time, at least for me, I do want to get back into like this podcast and change my mentality and my course into fully dedicating myself to this kind of creative content overall, just in general, because I realized that like my career, like the career I want is to be able to touch a lot of people's hearts and lives in general. And sometimes you can do that by just talking about your year and how much it changed you. Because it's like what Khalil said, like I was opening up a lot because I felt like safe enough to open up a lot. I obviously wasn't gonna go into details and like say names and stuff like that, but it was just able to be me being comfortable enough to be like, hey, this is something that I really want to talk about. And we just touched the iceberg on this, but it's just because I don't want to speak for both of us, but I think it's safe just from the energy that Khalil was given in this episode as well. We're both excited to start and continue sharing with you guys again. But yeah, I just feel like what I got from this episode overall is just that change is inevitable. Change is something that has to happen, and it took me a lot of time last year to fully embrace that and be like, okay, yes, change is inevitable. It's bound to happen, but am I going to like go along with it and change, or am I going to keep on fighting against it and like keep to myself, keep true to myself? And sometimes keeping true to yourself hinders your growth, and that's what I learned. I am not the same person that I was freshman year. Khalil can attest to that. And I'm definitely not the same person that I was last year, even a couple months ago in the summer, and like all of these things. Because I got with people, like I connected with a lot of people. I started liking a lot of people, like as friends, as other things, like all of these things. And it's just the fact that I was able to open myself up with these kinds of things that I was able to fully embrace the fact that like, wow, like now I have a friend group. I have like a best friend that I didn't think I was gonna gain from being like in school, and like I have a freaking 2 YouTube channels, which is this podcast and the other one, as well as just doing a whole bunch of other projects that I'm gonna keep. Like I would rather keep to myself right now until we show what is good for, like what the finished product is, because that's what is about change. It's the fact that if you keep it to yourself until you actually have change, people are just gonna notice the difference. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I'm trying to learn as well.
It's all about being grateful. I think that's the main lesson here. I feel like, a lot of times we take for granted things, and it's like we're so wrapped up on what happened in the past, and just like think about what we could have done wrong, or what we could have done better, and how we could have fixed things and all of that. But it's like instead of thinking on the past recently, I've just been very, very, grateful for all that I do have, whether that be family, whether that be, friends and opportunities and art and acting and, education, like literally every minute little thing I could think of to be grateful for, I'm being grateful for it. Sure. And it's changed my perspective on things. It's made me a happier person, honestly, because I'd rather be grateful than regretful in any capacity. Like I don't necessarily want to regret anything, and so that's why I completely urge you to just do it. Just do anything you want to do, bro. Like the only thing that's stopping you is you and your fear of what could possibly go wrong. And instead of thinking what could possibly go wrong, again, thinking of the negative, just think positively. It could happen. And if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. You just move on. Like,
true.
And that's it. Like, it sounds like corny, and it sounds like kind of easier said than done in a way. But it's like once you really wrap your head around the fact that you really could just do anything, bro. Like you could literally the only person that's stopping you is your fears. Like, but you could do literally anything. Like, so with that being said, thank you for coming to episode 6 of Tales from the Dorm. We are back.
Wow, he's gonna say the outro for me. That's so crazy.
You can say the outro.
No, you're good.
I'm just talking about the change, the aspect of the theme and whatnot. This has been episode 6 on change. Thank you guys so much for listening to us, and listening to all that we've been through in the last couple of years. And Dennis can tell you where you can find us.
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube, Tales from the Dorm. Where you can find us on Apple Podcasts, again, Tales from the Dorm, and on Spotify. So thank you guys, and also feel free to start interacting with us. We would love to hear back from you guys. We're gonna slowly build it back up, but yeah, this episode has been a lot of talking between us, but we have a lot more things planned.
A lot more. We're gonna try to integrate a little more, more segments.
Yeah, definitely.
Outside of just the Twitter and Montclair Confessions.
Yeah, we're still gonna keep that, but it's gonna definitely be either shorter or we're gonna be more diverse in what we have, because we just have a lot more things to share with you guys. But with that being said, once again, guys, my name is Dennis.
I'm Khalil.
This has been Tales from the Dorm, episode 6 on Change. Hope you guys liked it. See you guys.